In this video, I'm going to show how to write to eZDSP 5515 NOR flash over a 16-bit address boundary. And I had to modify, I'm basically using the NOR writer from the company that provided the code. Then I just modified it to work to get over that 16-bit address. So first off, just got some basic include files. And this is the main. Initialize everything to 100 megahertz. And this basically resets, makes everything make sure everything's at a reset. And I'll show what that looks like. I'm using a Texas Instruments chip support library for some of these functions. That's what the purple ones look like. And this just sets the oscillator to whatever I send into here. And I just create another function to show or return what the frequency is if you ever want to do something like that. All right, back to main. Oh, and these functions I use in here. You can do something like this if you want. This makes it easy. Then you can either type in the file name or hard code it. I just like to hard code it because it's quicker for me. And if there's a problem opening the file, just exit out. And this is looking at how big the file is. So if problem, exit out. Let's set the pointer back to the beginning of the file. Now initialize the flash. And I had to change all these to make sure it was 32 bits long or 16 bits long. It wasn't correct in the original file. And this is a chip support library, just make sure everything works over the 16-bit boundary. And most of this is still the same, just had to change stuff like that. Okay, back to main. Now you're gonna get the ID from the chip and erase the sector based on how big the file size is. And I had a problem with the original file. It tried program 2 bytes at a time, then read 2 bytes at a time, and it never worked over the 16-bit address boundary. So I just program everything at once except for the boot word. So I just read 2 bytes at a time from the file, then write it out. The first byte's the higher byte in the 16 bits, and write it out. There's a problem, exit out. And once that's done, then you validate the memory. So I set the pointer back to the beginning for the file, read the first, skip the first 2 bytes, and read the next 2 bytes in, and go through the whole file doing that. And I just compare it based on what I read from the file and what I read from the chip. There's a problem, exit out. Now, once that's done, I can write the boot word. So I set this thing back to the beginning, then I read the first 2 bytes, and I put it back into 16 bits and write it out to NOR flash. The problem exit out, close the pointer, and that's done. Now I showed that, I'm going to show how to create the binary file from the .out file. And you need the hex 55 in the same area that your .out file is located at. Once I got that, I just created a text file to remember what the command is to do this. Go to a command prompt. Clear this out. And just do a CD to wherever your .out file is located at. You can do directory, just show everything in there. There's your .out file. Now I'm going to create the binary file. this is the output file. All right, and boot. Even though this says 5505, it works on the 5515. There's a wiki about this command. And now you have a binary file. Let me go back to the program. And I'm gonna run it. And there's 75,000 bytes in there. It already erased the sectors for that. And now it's programming it. It'll take a while. Now it's validating the memory. Wrote the boot word, and it works every time. Thanks for watching.